everybody. Welcome back to Fire Your MD Now Radio. Mike Phillip filling in once again for Dr. Peter Glidden while he is going to school, doing his necessary upgrading to keep his licensing current. And so you get me, but not only to get me today, we got Mark Denning on deck. We're going to be bringing him in right away here. And Mark and I are going to have a brief discussion, and hopefully he can stick around and take some calls with me. Other stories we're going to be covering. The CDC has some very nefarious plans if a Ebola epidemic breaks out in the United States. We'll get into that in a bit. And the state of Louisiana is filing a lawsuit against Granuflo, maker of Fresenius, and they're putting out drugs that are killing people. Old story, new twist, same old. Same old. Mark Denning, have we got you there, my friend?
I'm here, Mike. How are you, brother?
I'm doing great. It's a real pleasure to talk to you. I've been kind of watching what you've been doing over the last 3 years here. And for those out there that are new to the show, we're getting new listeners all the time. Why don't you just give yourself a brief intro of who you are and what brought you around here?
Well, I can tell you, it's my Dr. Glidden that brought me around. I met him a few years ago at a health fair and the Health Expo around Chicago. Actually, Dr. Wallach was there, and I didn't get to meet him because I didn't know about him. But Dr. Glidden wasn't even doing anything for longevity. He was doing things on 10 things you could do to improve your health. And Lord knows I needed to improve mine. I was a victim of allopathic nightmares.
Yeah.
Type 2 diabetes, hypertension, blood clots, sleep apnea, obesity.
The same stuff we hear every day on this show.
Right. Absolutely, brother.
Yep.
Absolutely. So through my own study early on, and then, like I said, met Dr. Glidden. He invited me to come see Dr. Wallach. I said, where do I sign up? And, I've been off blood thinners. I mean, I was on so much of the blood thinner Coumadin, which is in decon rat poison, that if the rat would have bit me, it would have died. I'd never given any kind of any patient in my life, and I've been a nurse for about 27 years. I've been in the field, the medical field in varying degrees, probably longer than Peter, but Dr. Glidden, and since like 1978. So I've seen a lot of things come round and round, and also served in the military for 15 years. And was a nuclear, biological, and chemical weapons specialist as well as a medical person in the military. So when this whole Ebola shot came out and all that, I kind of chuckled because I kind of chuckled. But I love the way you talked about it yesterday. And
it's ridiculous, right? I mean, we've got such a huge medical monstrosity killing way more people every year, but they're screaming and jumping up and down about Ebola, 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 when it's not even as bad as what's happening in our backyard.
Heck no, they didn't even talk about when this Ebola thing hit. 8 cases of pneumonic plague hit the Denver area. A flea from a prairie dog bit a guy and his dog. It killed the dog, and 7 other people got sick.
Well, not only that, there's things like hantavirus, like they'll find people dead in their trailer because they happen to breathe mice excrement. And, there's so many things. And then I go and I check the different news services, and they're talking about West Nile virus identified in Toronto. And, there's just a million of them. And, in fact, how many people die from the flu every year?
Man, too many because, I work on an ambulance like a flight nurse, and I see people with the West Nile virus that have succumbed to this. But you know what, Mike? It all goes back, we all think about Doc Wallach's mission, right? Take the 90 for life, get rid of the 10 foods, do the body good. It's not milk, but do the body good.
Nature's milk.
Raw milk from an antibiotic and hormone-free pasture, free-range cow. And do the body good. So
Absolutely.
That improves your defenses. And, longevity just gives you so many weapons in the arsenal to keep your immune system the right way.
You know what? I haven't really been sick in about probably 2 years. When I first started on longevity, I was building back from so many health problems and my body was in such a weakened state. But once it takes, and once your intestine is all healed up and you're absorbing everything properly, it can take a little bit of time. But quite honestly, I don't remember what it's like to be sick. I don't remember what it's like to have a headache. Heartburn is a bad memory. Like, all these things have just gone away. I don't get sick.
Hallelujah, brother. And like I said, I'm off 6 different medications because of the education that I received, not as a nurse, but as a layman listening to a genius. Like you said yesterday, how would you like to be the lecturer in the room and Dr. Glidden and Dr. Wallach are looking at you like, he knew that.
Exactly. 25,000 autopsies, 10 million blood works, and what are you going to tell this guy?
Well, you know what? When we hear something more than once, Mike, I hate to tell you, and I just saw Dr. Wallach like 2 times in the last 2 months, and it's very motivating for me to do that. It keeps me strong, of course, and talking to Dr. Glidden from time to time because we live pretty close by each other. It just behooves you to just listen to probably as much as you can. And you've been following Alex Jones for a long time, and I haven't had that luxury because of the Wellness Warriors. It was Jen who said, "Mark, can you get on this show with Mike today?" Sure, no problem.
Yeah,
so
I asked her.
You owe her huge, dude. You owe her huge. I'm just kidding.
You know what? I owe her for more than that. If you knew what a troubled individual I was when I met this woman, and she's put up with a lot, and she's had to smack me back in my place a few times. And I owe her big, man. I owe her really big. You know what, Mark? How long can you stick around? You want to take a few calls with me?
Dude, let's do the whole thing, man. I'm here for you.
Let's do the whole thing. So, hey, Mark, do you mind if I call you MD?
No, you can call me MD. You can call me the commander, as people usually do.
I'm just kidding, Mark. I'm just kidding. I'll call you Mark.
I know.
All right, Let's go over to Marion in Texas. She wants to talk about blood clots. Marion, are you there?
Hey, yeah.
Marion.
Great.
Hey, I need to talk to you about my dad's friend. He's got so he was diagnosed with a cancer. I think it's some sort of lymphoma, but he's been on basic nutrients for the past 3 weeks, and then trying to get high on his antioxidants. But the thing is, he also has blood clots to his lungs, but specifically blood clots to his lower legs, to where both of his feet are mottled like purple, but the left one, his left foot is swollen from the midfoot to the toes, and it looks like the Incredible Hulk's foot. And it's swollen from the midfoot, but the toes are now gray and swollen. They haven't turned to eschar or anything. So I don't know how viable it is, if we could salvage it or not. But it's gray, skin is starting to slough off, and so he's ready for the next step
His skin is starting to slough off?
To do with it. Oh, good.
You know what? We'll just let Mark take this one. You go ahead and listen to Mark here, Marion. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, Marion, it's good karma that I was here today because I had 9 clots in my lung and 2 in my leg at one time.
Wow.
Okay? And it was the second time when I didn't have a naturopath taking care of me. It was 1 and 1 that almost killed me. So you have him on the baseline nutrients?
Yes, and he's 70 years old, and he's 195.
That's okay.
So he's not taking
195?
195, yeah, and he's 70 years old. He's not taking the optimal amounts because he's just not, just unable to take it all. But he's taking maybe half of it. But I got him on selenium and RTQ and all this other stuff. But the clots is what we're trying to, get control over now because his circulation is just real bad.
Right. I heard what you said. So you said he weighs 195.
Yes.
So he needs, his baseline nutrition should be 2 healthy heart and brain packs. Okay? Yes. And then you would add Ultimate Daily Caps. He would take 6 of those a day, which is 1 bottle.
6 a day?
And then does he have diabetes?
No.
Nothing else. He has no other problems besides the blood clots.
Say it again?
He has no other health issues besides the blood clots.
told me the blood clots and the cancer.
And the
Yeah,
cancer.
there's probably
Okay,
more
so-
than that, but yeah,
so
it's a good
keep
place to start.
The blood is sluggish, probably due to the inflammation caused by the cancer. So the RTQ is important. I would put him on Fucoid Z or Z Radical. I would
Okay,
put him on.
I just have the Z Radical.
Okay, how much are you giving him?
Well, he's able to take. I told him at least 2 ounces a day, but I don't know.
Jack, put
he's
that through the roof. Up to 8 ounces a day. Because not only will it help the inflammation get out of his system, but it will help keep the blood at a good viscosity along with the EFAs. The Ultimate Daily Caps will help roto-root the vessels, and if he wants to, he needs to keep his legs elevated during a period of time of the day to keep the swelling at a minimum.
Yes. How about?
But he needs to move, though. He needs to move.
Yes, moving around. Of course, I'm sure can imagine it's very painful. But
A lot of antioxidants. He needs to get off those 10 bad foods.
Yes, and that also, yes, sir. Now, what do you think about the nightly essence?
What, nightly essence? Not at this point, only because it's okay. The nattokinase in the nightly essence is a great product, okay? But the research with the Fucoid D, and that also is very beneficial. If you have them on the nightly essence, keep him on it.
Mark, I got to cut you off. Marion, we'll
Let's go
hold
to
you
the
to the other
break.
side to finish up, and we're going to go to Mimi in California after that. Mike Phillip and Mark Denning filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. We'll be back after this. Hey, everybody, we're back on Fire Your MD Now Radio. Once again, Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. The call-in line is 1-844-374-5433. I'm going to give that once again. Grab your pen, 844-374-5433. Now, if you want to get involved with Youngevity, you want to find out about ways of taking the products, health questions, how to set up a meeting in your town. I'm real good at that. Get a hold of me, Mike at teamglidden.ca. Once again, that's Mike at teamglidden.ca. So before the break, Mark Denning was talking to Marion in Texas, and I was enjoying listening to that so much. I think I'm just going to let you finish up the calls here, and I'll just let you know when the music comes on and introduce guests. How does that sound, Mark?
Hey, that works for me, Mike.
Great. Let's go back over to, you betcha. Let's go back over to Marion. You can finish up with her, and then we're going to go over to Mimi in California, MJ in Chicago, Betty in Maryland, Chelsea in Louisiana. We got all kinds of calls, so go ahead.
I'll bet. Hey, Marion, you still there?
Yes, sir.
So anyway, we want to turn out the fire in his body, right? Not a spiritual fire, because we want to, we want to emphasize that, because the naturopaths will treat the soul, as the allopaths don't have a pill for it. But anyway, again, 2 healthy Tartan Brain Pack. He needs a bottle of Ultimate Daily Caps, as much Z Radical as he can afford, and add 1 more bottle of selenium to the mix. And the Cell Shield and Triple Tree Chocolate. He needs to try to get 100,000 ORAC points every day. He'll get 16,000 from 2 servings of the BTT 2.0. He'll get another about 16,000 from 2 Cell Shield capsules. He can get 3 pieces of Triple Tree Chocolate a day. I'll give him another 51,000 a day. Where are we at, Mike? We need another bottle of Cell Shield. But if he drinks the Z Radical with the fruit juices that are in it, it will promote a good ORAC score, even though we don't have it documented. Plus, it'll put the fucoidin in there. What's the source of his cancer, did they say? The lymphoma, right?
Some sort of lymphoma.
Hodgkin's? Yeah. Get him off, no processed sugars, no extra sugars. And keep them off starchy vegetables like potatoes and beets, although beets are good for the liver. We need to help that out. And carrots are awesome here for sweet snacks.
Lots of eggs.
Eggs, brother. For God's perfect food.
That's right. I just had a whole bunch of them this morning, and I feel great.
Yeah, I eat 5 a day at least. My guys and I sit down and have breakfast. Soft scrambled butter. I put turmeric in my eggs, I put cayenne pepper in my eggs and put black pepper and Tabasco. So I just like it a little bit warmer than it normally is. But but that's what I would suggest. Get 8 bottles of Z Radical. Give them 8 ounces a day. This is a big fight. This is an all in. You've got to be all in here. You've got to be all in, and that's the way I like people to play. All in. He'll need to do this for 90 days. He's going to see something. We had a guy who had that issue with his toes, and the skin sloughed off, and the better skin was underneath. So
beautiful, Marion. Does that work for you?
Yes, sir. Thank you guys so much.
Great. We're going to let you go.
All right.
I let her go, Mark. Yeah, we're going to go over to Mimi in California, but while you were talking, I had my calculator out and the math all checks out.
Yeah, dude.
All right. Let's hear from Mimi in California. She's got a testimony. I'm excited to hear it. That's what I like. I like hearing really good health recovery testimonies. Mimi, how you doing?
Absolutely.
I'm doing great.
Excellent. You got a testimony.
Yes. About 4 months ago, I was diagnosed with dry eye syndrome. And it was pretty severe. They considered it like a 6. And if people don't know what that is, it makes little pinholes in your eyeballs, and it makes your vision blurry, plus you can go blind.
Wow.
So it's really common, very common. I'm 65. It's very common for people, especially for women who are postmenopausal. And I was up to about 20 drops of eye drops a day, sometimes more, drops at night. I was wearing 2 pairs of sunglasses to drive because I couldn't stand the light. You get real sensitive to light. And I couldn't watch TV. I couldn't be on the computer. I had to wear computer glasses. It was getting so bad, and I'm a very active person. I run a couple half marathons, and so that was really bothering me. And it was weird. I met this girl. Well, I knew this girl who was a trainer, and then she met someone.
Mimi, can I interrupt you for 1 second? Okay, stay right there with your girlfriend, the trainer. We got a commercial break, but we're going to come right back to you. Mike Phillip and Mark Denning filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden back after this.
Okay.
Welcome back. We're live. Mike Phillip and Mark Denning filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden, and Robin Williams, his dad.
Yeah.
It's too bad. He was a funny guy, but you know what? He probably, I'm guessing, Robin Williams spent more money on cocaine than you and me made in our life.
Maybe.
I
hate to judge people, Mike, because,
I do too, but he had problems, right? And my point is, it would have been so much better for him if somebody had reached him with this information beforehand. And, Danny Glover's on board with Youngevity now.
Love it.
Yeah, what's the model? Cindy Crawford, she's doing it. And, so, there's a lot of people out there that we have to reach before they reach a tragic end. Now, before the break, we were talking to Mimi in California, and she was giving her testimony. She had little pinholes in her eyes. She couldn't watch TV. She was talking about how she used to be very active, and it was starting to impact that when along came a friend. Mimi, take it from there.
Okay, so my friend invited me to see Dr. Wallach speak. And after that, of course, I couldn't get past that. And I just have to tell you a story about my husband. My husband is not a tolerable person to people who speak. And Dr. Wallach was so interesting. I kept thinking he would leave. And he kept telling me, because I'd ask him, did you want to leave? And he said, no, I'm staying here to listen to this. He was very adamant about listening to Dr. Wallach. It was amazing. So it was so life-changing, I cannot tell you. But anyway, I bought the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, and I've been taking it for almost a month. And the first 2 weeks, I started to notice a change in what happens is your tear ducts stop making tears, and that's how your eyes get dried out and you get the little pinhole. And I found out that it's related to a mineral deficiency, which I didn't find that out until afterwards. Of course, the doctor never told me that. He said, we can do an operation, or we can give you Restasis.
Cut more pinholes.
It's an immune suppressant drug. And
Of course.
that doesn't always help.
Well, that's always
So-
the answer, right? To suppress the immune system God put in you to deal with infection. Like, wow, these people are insane. But go on.
Crazy. So I was getting to the point where I wanted to take that because it was burning my eyes so bad that I just couldn't even function. It was getting really bad. So I started taking the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack. 3 weeks into it, I started noticing that I wasn't using my eye drops as much. My eyes weren't burning. I could sit at the computer. Why is that happening to me? I kept asking myself. And it must be because the minerals and the nutrients in that were
Da-da-da-da.
fixing my problem.
Awesome. You know what? I knew this girl. She had glaucoma so bad that felt like her eyeballs were going to pop out of her head, she said. And she was only like 30 years old. She wasn't very old. And the doctors gave her these eye drops that made her blind, and she got chemical burns in the back of her throat. And they wanted to do surgery. And I came along, and I was just talking with them one day, having a coffee, and she told me what was going on. And I happened to have 10 selenium in my pocket in a plastic bag. And I said, here, take 2 of these a day. And her eye opened up and started tearing for the first time in a year. The second day, just taking 2 selenium a day, has how badly selenium deficient she was. So that was a pretty easy... it was pretty easy to convince those people that this works, and that was just at a low dose. So I've there was the same what you're talking about, Mimi, with not being able to drive at night and stuff. It was the same thing with my wife, and she had gotten LASIK eye surgery, and to keep there's kind of a warranty that goes with that. You have to get it checked once a year, and if you need touch-ups, they'll do it, but you got to get them checked. So she went and got checked. And she had massive degradation going on in one eye, but they wanted to do a follow-up appointment in 3 months. So what we did was, okay, let's hit the longevity hard and find out what we need to do. So we got her on the Vision FX, extra EFAs, extra selenium. She went back to LASIK in 3 months for her follow-up appointment, and the doctor just could not believe the results. He said, your vision is better than mine now. But do you think they were interested in how she did it? Nope.
No.
Oh, no.
Stealing the profits. Hey, Mimi. But, it gets back to what you had was running as much as you were doing. You were creating a lot of oxidative damage in your body. People that do a lot of high-intensity training, and marathon runners are doing this. Your C-reactive protein blood levels in your body skyrocket. So if you do medium intensity training, it's kind of better primarily. Okay. And then once in a while do high intensity training. You got to cycle this so that your body can respond. But like Mike said, you got to feed it. And the person that got that selenium was at a cusp, at a peak on the mountain. They just needed that little bit to know what was the answer, and that's the great part of what Doc Wallach's mission is. You know what the answer is. You don't have to, and nothing's going to hurt you.
No,
and that's the beauty of it.
That's what I thought was amazing. I would like to ask another question, though. I have another problem going on with my thyroid. I've always been thyroid deficient, so they say. And they had me on levothyroid, and then I did a lot of research, and, of course, that never worked. I did a little test, and I stopped it, and it didn't do anything, and then started back on and didn't do anything at all. It's just ridiculous. My HMO had me on that. And I would like to ask a question about S-thyroid. I put myself on S-thyroid, which I bought from Thailand. And I wanted to ask you if you think that, what your thoughts are on that, and, if I should get my TSH levels checked, or if I should just stay off it.
How do you feel?
T3, yeah.
How do you feel, Mimi?
Sometimes it makes me a little jittery, and sometimes it doesn't. Mm-hmm.
So anyway, the basic guidelines for any thyroid program, excuse me, and Dr. Glidden and I wrote a blog called Hypothyroidism 101, and Dr. Glidden looked at it, and the only upgrade I would put to it now would be using bergamot, the essential oil, right on the thyroid every day. If you're not taking selenium in good amounts, you're not helping your T4 to convert to T3. So
I am taking the
ultimate selenium. And how much do you weigh,
Yes.
Mimi?
I weigh 129.
And how tall are you?
5'4".
5'4". Excellent. Beautiful. You're almost right there.
That's actually a really good height and weight. I bet you're a very good looking lady.
There you go. She sounds like she's 30. She sounds like she's 30.
Yeah, you sound young.
Yeah. But
After taking longevity, I feel like 30 sometimes. It feels great, believe me.
There you go.
It made a huge difference in my life.
Yeah, I wrote a blog, Hypothyroidism 101, and I usually put it out. If you're not on the Wellness Warriors on Facebook, you're welcome to join it. It's a think tank for longevity people, so it's wellness, the word wellness, and then warriors with a Z, not an S. Wellness Warriors with a Z. I formed that page a little over a year ago. We have about 2,200 members. They're all longevity people. It's a think tank. It's a place to ask questions. It's a place to tell about your successes, and we go from there. We don't sell sunglasses or tennis shoes or anything like that unless it's part of the MK Collab. But and that's where we got to go with that. But support your thyroid. There's 10 bad foods on that are goitrogenic. Let's see how many I can name: cauliflower, broccoli, eggplant, Brussels sprouts, mustard, raw cabbage, cassava root, pine nuts, peanuts. And I don't know, I can't think of the other ones. But if you go to Maximus and the Commander, ANDTHE Commander.blogspot.com, and look at that blog, it may help you in your plight to regulate your thyroid. Now, don't forget, too, mercury mercury in your system will help interfere with the T4 to T3 conversion as well. It'll inhibit the enzyme that does that. So getting some heavy metals out of your system, again, selenium's awesome. And also, too, the Cleanse FX. Cleanse FX.
Okay.
In the healthy body weight one. It has the triphala in there, which is our Ayurvedic combo that helps get heavy metals out of you. So if you want to do that for a month as things go on, and then as you get to your 90 days there, you could do like a Swero cleanse or something like that, a 3-day cleanse, and go from there. But again, if you have mercury fillings, that's going to be interfering. That's one of the sources of hypothyroidism as well. Yeah, that may be it. So you dial in everything else, right?
Okay.
Dial in everything else, and then if that's it, you go see a holistic dentist, and you get those puppies out.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah,
awesome. That was
it's
great.
very worth it. Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
You're
absolutely. Mimi, thanks so much for calling, and we really, really appreciate people with a story to tell because there's so many new listeners, and people are wondering, is this thing real? Because I've tried a million different things, and like I'm fond of saying, the well is poison. There's so much bad information on the internet. So, for you to come on and share your story for other people and get more information absolutely helps out the cause. Mimi, keep up the good work. You're doing a great job. You sound like you're healthy and happy, and there's a few more steps you want to take, but now you know what to do, and you can take them. Mimi, thank you so much for calling in. We're going to let you go, and we are going to jump over to MJ in Chicago. MJ, are you there?
Hello, gentlemen. Hi, Mike. I called you on Friday. You helped out a lot with my issue. I just had another question, right quick to recap. I was the one who was 5'6", 255. I had the problem with the renal failure with the 7.2 creatinine, history of diabetes, high blood pressure, the back problems, and problem with retaining water. Another thing the doctor said I had a problem with is low calcium. I was wondering what I would need to take for the low calcium and to reduce the fluid.
Well, see, I had told you to take a Healthy Start. You're going to get the OsteoFX with that Healthy Start pack, and that's going to be the nail in the coffin of your low calcium problems right there. Any comments, Mark?
Absolutely, brother. I got your back on this for sure. So, anyway, at that weight, let's see, 2 Healthy Body Pack 2.0, okay? At least 2 of them. All right?
Yes, I'm taking 2 of those. 3.
Do you have any Ultimate Daily Cap?
Yes, I had the Ultimate Daily, 1 bottle of those and 3 of the selenium. And Mike told me to hold off on the ASAP until I get more Nutrify.
Oh yeah, don't do ASAP. No way, not right now.
Yeah, that's what I was saying too.
You need to Nutrify first. Nutrify.
Right, that's what Mike told me to do Friday. That's what Mike told me to do Friday.
Absolutely, he's all over it. He listened.
And I also have my Glucogel for my back issue.
Yeah. As you lose weight, your back problem's gonna help resolve. You need 1 more extra bottle of calcium, and I suggest that you get a bottle of Cal Toddy, and that you take 3 servings of calcium during the day.
Mark,
and spread them
I got to cut you off. Mark.
do it.
Remember exactly where you were. MJ in Chicago, stay there. We'll bring it back. Betty in Maryland, Chelsea in Louisiana, stick around. Mike and Mark sticking in for Dr. Glidden. We'll be back after this. Hey, we're back. Mike and Mark filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. We were talking to MJ before the break there. Mark, what was the name of that blog? Maximus and the Commander at blogspot.com?
Maximus and the Commander.blogspot.com.
Okay, great. I'm going to be checking that out too because it sounds fascinating. Let's go back over to MJ. MJ, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Great.
Hi, MJ.
Sorry,
Mike. Let me finish up here with you.
Yeah.
Get you dialed in. So, how long have you been taking longevity products for?
Actually, I just started them this week.
Good.
Yesterday.
Are you off the 10 bad foods?
Yes, I'm gluten-free. I'm off the 10 bad foods.
Did you
and I
eliminate
got all the
white rice?
other...
Eliminate white rice. Eliminate red meat.
Okay, red meat too?
For the 90 days. Yeah, eliminate red meat for 90 days.
What's the purpose of that?
It requires a lot of chromium to digest red meat, and it screws with your blood sugar. And so the inflammatory process in your body just perpetuates.
That's interesting.
Which is a lot of your issue. It's a lot of your issue, MJ.
Okay, so that would help me with the retention of water?
It's going to help you with a lot of things to get rid of the inflammation, okay?
Okay.
All right? So as your kidneys get better, as the vessels open up from the use of calcium and the Ultimate Daily Cap expressly, you should start urinating more. Do you have any congestive heart failure? Have you been told you've had any heart failure or anything like that?
Yes, I did have heart issues too.
You do. So I would add 1 more product to the mix. It's called De-Stress by SupraLife. And I would take 2 capsules with breakfast and 2 capsules with lunch. You're supporting the heart well with selenium, but people that have heart failure also are thiamine deficient B1, and that is a staunch supporter of a healthy heart there in your case. Because when your circulation, you got to get your circulation better.
Right.
And your heart's the main muscle for that.
The Ultimate Dailies will help out big time with that too as well.
Well, that'll help with the circulation, yes.
Okay, you said De-Stress, right?
De-Stress.
Yeah, the letter D, stress.
Yeah, it's in the SupraLife division of longevity.
Okay.
I would add that one. And you need to limit your calories to like 1,200 calories a day.
Okay.
You really need to be very thoughtful about that for the first month. If you don't totally get there every day, it's okay. But by next month, you should dial that in. And 1,200 to no more than 1,500 calories a day. You're going to watch the weight fall off. Your back's going to start feeling better. You're going to start falling asleep better. The headaches are going to go away. You're going to start peeing like a champion because your heart is going to be working better. And when the heart works better, the lungs work better. When the lungs work better, the kidneys work better. And then the brain works really good, too. So that's another reason why we take 90. But we put those little secret sauces in there for those little arms of the octopus. You're one octopus, your illnesses are the offshoot of the same thing. So we need to just take care of business. We want to hear from you in 2 weeks.
Okay, I'll call you back in 2 weeks.
You start weighing yourself every other day.
Okay, I'll do that. And one last thing, if no red meat, but can I have chicken?
Absolutely.
Chicken, yeah, baked, boiled, or stewed.
Okay.
No crispy skin.
No fried chicken.
No fried chicken. No white
But that's
flour.
part of the
No
sin
white
bad
rice.
food.
Oh, that's way out. That's, man, no pretzels, none of that stuff. All right, keep your
Dr.
diet
Glidden.
real simple. Stay dialed into eat the same thing every day for a few days and then start building on that within that good food list. And you'll
That's
find
awesome
out.
advice, Mark. I hear the music. That means we're coming up on a network break. Did you want to keep MJ around a little bit longer?
I don't know, MJ, do you still need us? Or are you good?
No, actually, you answered my questions for me. Thank you so much.
That's awesome,
I can let
MJ.
you.
We're going to let you go. Mike and Mark Denning filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. After this network break, we're going to go to Betty in Maryland and Chelsea in Louisiana. You hang on. We'll be right back after this.
Hang on.
Hey, everybody, we're back. Mike and Mark filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden on Fire Your MD Now Radio, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for Mark Denning. I actually learn a lot from the guy, and I just went over to maximusandthecommander.blogspot.com. Once again, that's maximusandthecommander.blogspot.com, and I urge everybody to go check it out because there's some tremendous information on here. I've been just reading over the break, and we're going to take your calls first. But I'm going to actually have Mark speak to the few of the things he's written about on here. The call-in line is 1-844-374-5433. Once again, that's 844-374-5433. You can also reach me. That's Mike at teamglidden.ca. And I realized something too, Mark, while you were talking. You said that you got involved in healthcare in some capacity in 78.
Yeah, buddy.
I was born in 75. So you've been working with healthcare almost as long as I've been alive. So, there's a lot of really good information coming out of you. And let's go over to Betty in Maryland. She has a friend who's overweight and has trouble sleeping. And let's dial this in for Betty and her friend. Betty, are you there?
Absolutely.
Yes, I am.
Good
How
to
are
hear
you?
Betty. I'm doing great. You waited a long time, and I'm glad you did because now we got you on the air.
Well, it was worth the wait because I got some answers to some of the problems that I'm having. Number one, I've been on the product for 2.5 months, and I have had pain in my hip, and I've been going to a chiropractor for it, and it's like needles just down my legs. And as a result of listening to the show, I found out maybe I need to get off the red meat.
Maybe. Are you gluten-free? Are you gluten-free?
Yes, I'm gluten-free, and I'm taking the glucose gel and the healthy pack with selenium.
How tall are you?
I'm about 5'6.5".
Tell me how much you weigh.
And I weigh 160.
Okay.
And
you have trouble falling asleep, don't you?
I don't have trouble. I'm calling in for a friend. That was just my little scenario. But my friend is, she's about 40, between 40, 45. She is 216 pounds. She's about I would say she's about 5'8", very tall, stout lady. And she wants to lose about 60 pounds. She's anemic. She's anemic. And she has trouble sleeping at night and postmenopausal. What is the least that I can get her started on to help her with this weight loss?
Put on a Healthy Body Digestion Pack 2.0. That would be the least I would say because she's not getting oxygen to the tissues because she's anemic. And a lot of times that you're anemic for 3 reasons. Pretty much. One, you got a hole in your vessel, and they need to put a cork in it. All right, you're bleeding. Number 2, your cells they're either too large or too small. If they're too large, there's not enough of them. If they're too small, they can't carry adequate nutrients to your body. And number 3, you don't have good enough stomach acid to digest the iron. So you need to get off the 10 bad foods, of course.
Her friend does.
Yeah, her friend. Sorry, Mike. Thanks, brother.
Yep.
Need to get off those 10 bad foods. And, you know, she weighs a lot for her size. It's not. She's not that tall. She's, like you said, 60 pounds overweight. She needs to dial the calories back to 1,200 a day. 1,200 a day. Well, if she could, if her budget will allow that, you know, she could add another couple bottles of plant-derived minerals to the mix, and drink that throughout the day too, if that's her budget constraint. But truly, in essence, she needs at least one Healthy Body Digestion Pack and one Healthy Body Blood Sugar Pack 2.0 of each of those. Anytime anybody's struggling with blood sugar issues like this lady is, getting some selenium on board is so critical, and to take it in between your meals, because what we're seeing in the medical community is that the spikes of the blood sugar in between meals, and two of the cofactors important to absorb selenium are chromium and vanadium, and Doc Wallach so conveniently put it in the Ultimate Selenium. So taking it in between meals, you don't worry about any contact with phytates, and that's a big discussion. You can come to the Wellness Warriors and punch that in the search, and there will be a whole expose on that by David Sullivan, one of my nutritional gurus. Such a bright young man he is, and a great.
I just like to add one thing.
Yeah, buddy.
I just like to add one thing here. If there's budgetary constraints, and you know, she needs to cut back on her calories, if she could eliminate some unnecessary things from the grocery bill every month and put that towards longevity, she's honestly, in my opinion, when people get Nutrified, they just don't feel like eating half as much. So you end up saving on your grocery bill as well. You've seen this too, Mark?
Absolutely. That was the first thing I saw in myself. I was just taking Cherry Mints, and my wife asked me after 3 weeks on an ounce of Cherry Mints every day what I felt like eating for dinner, and I said, I really don't have a taste for anything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You eat out of necessity. You eat because you want to chew things. Foods are anemic. I'm not telling you to go totally on product and never on food, because you need some eggs and stuff in there to help you with more fats and that and other nutrients. There's good foods out there. Need to read the labels. One of the things I tell people is, if you look at a grocery store, the majority of the big ones, if you stay to the outside of the store and don't go to the inside, you'll make much healthier choices.
That's good advice.
Yeah. You have to sometimes they put those Entenmann tables towards the outside, and you got to hurdle them. You got to hurdle them and go bypass them. They want to sell things that are going to expire quickly. And but just stay to the outside of the store. You'll learn to make better choices. Read your labels. If it has more than 4 ingredients and any of them are on there that you don't know what it is, don't buy it.
Don't buy it.
It's real
if you can't pronounce it, don't buy it.
That's right. If you don't know what it is, don't buy it. She gets Nutrified. She'll see a change. And then, the Healthy Body Challenge, Mike? Have her recruit 3 people. Say, I'm taking the Healthy Body Challenge. And she gets 3 people to come in the same way, just $10. And to get on the Healthy Start Pack, Healthy Body Pack, and she gets $115 credit the next month.
Yep.
Okay.
Plus what she buys. And just stay with that. Just have her announce it to the world. I'm taking the Healthy Body Challenge. I want to lose that. Does anybody want to join with me? And I bet she'll get some takers, and life will be good. But that's what I suggest right now for her is 1,200 calories at a minimum, the Healthy Body Digestion Pack to help metabolize the iron. That's why they always tell you, and I've been a nurse for 27 years, we used to tell the patients to take the iron with some type of orange juice because it helps the iron absorb. Because it increases stomach acid. So what does Doc Wallach tell you? We lose our stomach acid as we age proportionally, so that if we get salt and we get enough calcium, life is good. Because the calcium will let those little chief cells in the stomach let go of the hydrochloric acid, and digestion is that much better.
Okay.
How's all that sound, Betty?
That sounds good. I have one more quick question.
Great, we want to hear it.
My brother fell in his bathtub. hurt his leg where he had knee replacement. Well, the leg swelled up so bad for 4 weeks. He finally went into the hospital, and they started treating him with an intravenous antibiotic.
Oh, it's cellulitis.
He did it for 4 days, and he came home. His leg looks much better. The color is coming back. But the skin from the calf down to the top of his ankle is like leather.
Yeah, that's going to take some time to heal that for sure because it's stretched, because of the cellulitis. I recommend the baseline nutrition plus Immortalium at this point, and selenium, and some glucogel for the collagen and the glucogel to help all the cells dial in real well. And then the Immortalium, and I'm telling you a personal thing. I almost lost the skin on my leg because of peripheral vascular disease from 3 blood clots at varying times. But I was amazed at the speed at which, I had already been on longevity products for a couple of years, but I was impressed by the promptness of the change in the skin color from all the blood that had been pooled there and the damage. So I like the Immortalium because it's got the fucoidan in there too. It's got the fucoidan in there. It helps remove the inflammation. It'll help the knee as well and restore some good stem cell support. And you never know. He might grow some cartilage over that knee replacement.
Okay.
The Immortalium is an absolutely awesome product. Me and my wife have been on it since it came out, and I refuse to drop it for my auto ship because you feel so good. And it's like we've decreased in age since we started taking the Immortalium. Like, I don't even know how to explain it, but other people are telling me that as well.
Yeah.
How do you take it?
How do you take it?
4 capsules a day.
Yeah, 4 capsules a day.
Immortality. Okay. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And if there's nothing else, we're going to let you go.
Okay.
All right. Thanks a lot, Betty and Marilyn. Thanks for the call. That was great. Let's go over to Chelsea in Louisiana. Chelsea, are you there?
Hi. I had a question about the Prostate FX and the GTO. Can you take that at the same time or together or whatever?
Sure.
Sure.
What are they use? What are you trying to use?
Hang on a second. You know what? Let's put this on hold. We got the music. We're going to a break, but Chelsea, stay right there, and Mark and I will talk to you on the other side. We'll be back after this. Welcome back. We're live. Mike Phillip and Mark Denning, the commander, filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden today. And I'm really enjoying having Mark on. And big thanks to Mark. And before the break, we were talking to Chelsea in Louisiana. She asked a question, and the short answer was no. Could you please go into that a little bit more, Mark?
Remind me again.
She was asking if you can take the ProstFX.
The ProstFX and the GTO.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know what the underlying issue was. I think you can take them both at the same time. I wouldn't see any problem with that. Why do they feel they need to take them at the same time? Are they looking for like this awesome effect all of a sudden?
Use low testosterone.
Okay. We don't have to take them at the same time. Anytime you're on Longevity's product, you should flood your body all day. Divide it up all day. Flood your body a little at a time, especially when you're new or recovering from the leaky gut syndrome from the gluten and all that inflammation. If you give your body too much at one time, it's not going to absorb it all, and you're going to lose a lot. So a little bit, all through the day. I take my capsules 3 times a day. And I take my liquid. I take a liquid ounce of Ultimate Classic in the morning with my breakfast. And then I enjoy my BTT 2.0 during the day, perhaps a packet of Rebound, and later in the day, because I usually work till about 10 o'clock. I wouldn't advise caffeine after 3. And do a little bit at a time so that your body absorbs it. Taking them all at the same time, there's no worries there. And that's the beauty of Doc Wallach stuff.
I actually, sorry.
Will that help ED too?
What's that?
Oh, that
Will help
ProstFX will help ED quite like lots, and also if you can get him to eat a maximum amount of eggs possible, like 8 to 10 per day. If he does that with the yolk soft and takes the ProstFX, oh man, you're gonna be hiding from him.
Did you hear that, brothers? She gives him 12.
12. There you go. Yeah.
And it's
but the ProstFX
goes over the yolk.
He's going to be walking around with a loaded gun.
He's got inflammation. Does he have diabetes as well?
He's pre-diabetic.
Yeah, just dialing that sugar metabolism in a great way. You know, that's a source of most chronic illness is sugar metabolism. You know, back in the day, we didn't have the A1C. They didn't draw that blood test. They didn't have a lot of knowledge and know that sugar adheres to the protein in the hemoglobin, and doctors didn't really care about it. So now it's advantaged that way, and we're getting so much sugar adhering to the red blood cells, it kind of renders them ineffective. That's another reason you could become anemic as well. You know, you're bogging down that red blood cell, blocking all the pores that it has with a bunch of sugar, and that just carries the inflammatory process. So, again, eat your vegetables, eat your fruits, avoid the starchies. With this guide, no red meat, or very limited, once a week maybe. I would avoid white rice at all costs. I wouldn't bank on... a lot of people say, well, I got to go gluten-free. Well, I got to get some bread. No, you don't. Get rid of the grains. The only two grains that I would concern myself at that point would be quinoa or some brown rice. That would be it. You don't need fat. Those grains are still going to absorb into your gut and might cause issues. All right? Okay. Get off the grain. That's why we have Against the Grain. Dr. Glidden's YouTube video, Against the Grain. I named it for him, Against the Grain. Don't use grains. Get to the outside of the store and stay away from the bread.
What happens with my legs tend to, they're weak, but if I eat 2 pickles in the morning, they stop.
Really? You like vinegar, huh?
That's interesting.
Absolutely. You know, you're minerally deficient. Absolutely. The pickles are helping you digest your calcium and get more calcium out of there. So your
it would be the acidity level.
You need to up the calcium. You need to up your calcium. To, for a 100-pound person that's calcium deficient, I tell them to do 1.5 ounces or 1.5 servings of the powder, at least, and divide that. That'd be half a scoop, or what's that? How much do you weigh?
235. I had been doing a scoop every night.
Scoop every night. We got to stop you there, Chelsea. We got to stop it right there. We got the music. That means we got a break, but we're going to come right back to you, Chelsea. So just remember your spot. Mike Phillip and Mark Denning filling in for Dr. Glidden, having a great time doing it. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back. We're live. Mike Phillip and Mark Denning filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden here on Tuesday, August 12th. Fire Your MD Now Radio. Now, over the break, I've got a friend out in Ottawa named Mike, and he went to naturopathic school. He just sent me a text regarding what we were talking about with Chelsea, and he tells me there's an herb called Tribulus terrestris that's cheap, and it's great for testosterone production naturally. And a lot of weightlifters use it. You can get that at any health food store. And he also says here, cutting carbs and high protein works as well. Now, let's go back over to where we were at. Oh, and by the way, Commander, Mike in Ottawa wants me to say hi to you.
Man, a salute at you.
Right on. Okay, so let's go back to Chelsea here. Chelsea, can you hear us? Great.
Yes, you said Tribulus. How do you spell that?
Tribulus, Tribulus, terrestris, terrestris.
Okay.
And that's an inexpensive way to do it.
I think sometimes it's also called horny goat weed, I think, or something like that.
Puncture vine, I think, is the
Puncture vine.
Yeah.
I know there's other ones out there, but anyway, get something baseline going with him, and stick with it at least for a month, and see what happens, and maybe add the tribulus later after that if you don't have any success with that, because we need to clear out the system, get good blood flow, get the inflammation down, and take it from there. Was he concerned about a PSA test or anything like that?
No.
That he had in the past? Or is it just the ED?
No. It's just the ED.
Okay. Yeah, get the inflammation down, get the vessels open, ensure adequate nutrients with that too. If his testosterone's low, he can add the ultimate HGH as well as a precursor for amino acids for a lot of hormones in the body, and the amino acids for that will help out with all that too. So, but again, healthy fat metabolism, because you can't forget that every cell in the body is surrounded by fat. If we don't have good fat metabolism, it's going to take a while, but we're going to start having trouble. Things are going to start to break. That's why we have trouble metabolizing blood sugar. We have trouble with hormone problems. We get all just, it's just, as I could say, crapshoot, I think, on the radio. But so, again, it's important. As with you, your calcium intake should most likely be 3 servings a day. I would take 1 at breakfast, 1 at dinner, and 1 before I went to bed.
Okay.
Okay?
It makes me sleepy. Okay.
Absolutely. It's supposed to make you sleepy.
It
normalizes your blood vessels. Your vessel, you are very much a poster child for a calcium deficiency. So, a healthy body pack and get enough calcium, and life is going to be golden for you.
Good deal. Good deal.
All right.
Okay, so for my husband, I just do the Prostafix and the GTO. Just stick with that for a minute.
Just try that for a month. Keep going with that for a month. Get the inflammation down. And the eggs, yes, sir.
I got 8 dozens in the refrigerator.
Well, then you're going to be in business real soon.
Well, she's 5 dozen up on me. No, I'm just kidding. No, I actually she's 3 dozen up on me. I have 5 in the fridge. We keep 5 in the fridge. My wife goes nuts.
Mark, have you ever tried duck eggs?
No, not yet, dude. We're going to get together for lunch or something. We're going to do some duck eggs.
We'll have duck eggs, yeah. You know what? And we'll go shoot some ducks, too.
Okay, don't tell my wife that. Mercy for animals. We're going to put them out of mercy for the meal they're going to provide so that they don't have to starve.
Well, I look at it like, who would really want to be a duck? Like, you're really putting them out of a miserable life.
I don't know, man. Birds are amazing. All birds
I hear you, yeah.
You got that, brother.
They're amazing on the barbecue.
As long as you don't eat the black parts, right?
That's right. Chelsea,
right.
How does that help you out?
Pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Chelsea, are you on the Wellness Warriors on Facebook?
No, I didn't know how to spell that. I heard it, but I could never get.
All right, I'm going to spell it.
Okay.
Sorry, yeah. WELLNESS
Okay.
On Facebook. Ask to join, because I don't let everybody in.
Oh, thank you.
You have to be a member of Longevity, generally, to get in.
Okay.
Show a great propensity or a service I feel is necessary for the Warriors in order for that to happen. Okay?
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank
Chelsea,
you,
once you get this little problem dealt with, if he'll leave you alone for 10 minutes, call back in so you can let us know that you're
I don't
successful.
want him to leave me alone.
Well, you just wait.
Well,
you just
on a
wait.
mission.
We love you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we're going to let you go, Chelsea. Thanks for the call. So before we were talking to Chelsea there, I was talking to the commander here a little bit about his blog site, Maximus and the Commander.blogspot.ca. There's all kinds of really great information. I was just reading a little bit here. This is really interesting about the Jarisch-Herxheimer effect.
Oh,
Am
yeah,
I
great
pronouncing
program.
that right? Go into that a little bit, Mark, if you will.
So anytime that you're gonna it's like do a detox or anything like that, you those little villi start waking up. You start taking the products, and those little villi start waking up. They've trapped probably some endotoxins, which are bacteria that have died in your body, and your body wants to get rid of them in a great way. So you've given them a new avenue. You started taking care of yourself. You started Nutrified. And sometimes when you start on products, you might see some people get a rash. You might get a headache. You might get joint pain. You might get flu symptoms. And this is all characteristic of that. So you could do it two different ways. You know, you identify it. If you think it's something coming on, and that's why you need to be on the Wellness Warriors page, because I'm always faster than your doctor will ever be in a whole life. Your allopath. I'll get back to you faster, or one of my crew will. And they have gotten so smart over the last year and a half, Mike. I'm just going to tell you, man, I don't have to answer everything. They have grown. So
yeah, that's one of the great things about Facebook. Like, I'm not on it myself, but my wife is on your Wellness Warriors group, and she's with Team Glidden, and we've got Team Glidden cameras, and just about any question you go on there and ask, somebody has had experience with it or knows how to deal with it.
Yeah, shoot the Warriors. They are learning, and but anyway, as that happens, you can deal with two different ways. You can just tough it out. All right, it takes a couple days. It's like getting off caffeine, you know, with chronic migraine headache, and that you go through the withdrawal headaches and stuff. But you battle that back with water and adequate nutrition and nutrients, and it's not as bad. Or you can slow down the reaction by cutting back on your nutrients to half for about 3 to 4 days, and then dial it back in, and life should be good for the majority of people. Some people won't. I mean, and we all know that. We're trying to heal the world, trying to change the way healthcare is practiced, and we're going to do it. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
That's one thing for you to think about, to have knowledge of, and be aware of. I mean, some people screw up with gluten after they've been gluten-free. They might make a mistake, not in purposeful error, and their joints hurt, but now they know what's going to happen, where the inflammation hits, where the bad voodoo daddy goes,
Right. And normally, like, if you've been off gluten for a while, and say like if you've been off it, say 3 months, and you go to a barbecue and eat a bunch of hamburger buns, you're going to pay for it, right? Like, you'll know.
Yeah, for me, it's like a semi-tractor running over me. But what I do know that kind of works really good is you just get some quinoa and just start eating quinoa with vegetables. Just start eating quinoa, and that fiber will help get rid of those toxins out of your system, and hopefully it won't absorb as much, and life will be good.
What do you think about hemp seed?
I love hemp seed, dude.
You know what?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
One of the most awesome proteins out there right now. You can't grow it in the United States, unfortunately, because people think you're trying to be a dope dealer.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you look at triathletes like Ironman, like Brendan Brazier. If you look at his book, Thrive, that guy thrives on hemp seed. Very easily digestible, very good protein. For all those vegetarians out there that hopefully are on, that are ovo vegetarian, eat the eggs, and go with that. I use hemp seed or hemp milk a lot of times in my smoothie. I rotate, soy milk, hemp milk, coconut milk, coconut water. What else do we use? Almond milk, things like that. We use all those things. So there's a wide variety of health things if you just get out there. Also on Facebook, as a result of the Wellness Warriors, is the Good Food, Bad Food page, Mike.
There you go.
Sherry Bob and Sherry Stubbs started that one. And I couldn't handle all the food things, so they took it upon themselves. And then the third site that's pivotal is YGY Pets. And I've had a few encounters with some pet owners this year. When we lost Bear, at least they lost Bear. But I had confidence. I had, I guess, happiness in that I gave them 3 good weeks with him, with the supplements that we were giving them. Instead of giving a bunch of steroids and watch them pass away from sugars going up and down and everything going crazy. So hats off to Bear for hanging in there with the family and that too. So YGY Pets is there. There's a new one out there with Healthy Moms. I'll get that out on the Warriors page. I can only spread myself so thin, though. But we stay with the Warriors to start out with, always with the good food, bad food, because they always post the good food, bad food list every day.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, that's great. And you, like, if you are a guy and you've got a girlfriend or wife, whatever the case might be, if you want her to be as beautiful as she possibly can be, get her on that 10 bad food list and get her to nutrify her body. Like all the women in my family have lost so much weight and maintained it now. And they have energy, their hair is beautiful, their skin is beautiful. And, you know, I kind of, it's like a hobby to me when I see a woman and she's under nutrified. I think, what's she going to look like once I get her on the 90?
Yeah, Mrs. Commander, she's quite the dynamo, that one. I was 325 pounds, brother.
325.
And I don't have any problems keeping the weight off. It was about 100 pounds. And I'm about 6'1". And I'm strong as a bull for 53. People are amazed.
Yeah. I'll be turning 40 in January here, and I have people telling me I look better than I did when I was 35.
Amen, brother.
All the time. I hear the music. Mark Denning, stick around. We got one segment left to go. Really enjoying having you on the show. Mike and Mark filling in for Dr. Glidden. We'll be back right after this. We're back live. Mike Phillip coming at you from beautiful Camrose, Alberta, here in Western Canada. Mark Denning in Illinois, I believe. And I got a story that I'd like to cover here real quick and get Mark's comments on. The state of Louisiana sued Fresenius Health Medical Care North America and nearly 100 of its clinics statewide after 2 of its dialysis drugs, Natural Light and Granuflo, were linked to fatal heart attacks, strokes, and other conditions. Louisiana officials claim Fresenius knew that Granuflo and Natural Light could elevate patients' bicarbonate levels and therefore increase their chance of a heart attack, but chose to ignore those risks. According to the lawsuit filed in the state's 19th Judicial District, state officials say the company knew that special instructions would have reduced those risks. The state claims the company defrauded the state's Medicaid program and never warned patients or roughly 1,500 non-Fresenius dialysis clinics in Louisiana about the dangers of the 2 drugs. The state seeks to recover $5,000 per violation for payments made to Louisiana's Medicaid program, and it also asks the Fresenius pay back profits made from the sale of Granuflo. So when you've got these problems going on and you go to your doctor, chances are he could be pushing something at you that he doesn't even know the full risks of, and it happens all the time. Now, the state wants $5,000 per infraction, but what does that do for you? And even if you sue the company or the drug company that gave you something that they knew would kill you, and you get messed up, so you get a schwack of money in a lawsuit, so what? You're still gonna die, right? So, yeah. Mark, your experience in this?
My vast experience in this.
Yeah.
That company is nationwide.
Yeah.
We have Fresenius in Illinois as well, and their dialysis centers. The damage is done. There's no price you can put on a human life.
Right.
I had one ER doctor. I was working at a pretty busy ER, and she said, "You're the most compassionate nurse I've ever met." I said, I'm not the only one. You just only met one so far. And that's okay. I have a hard time taking compliments. But, that brings up a good point. Get some good advice. Ask 30 million questions, and don't ever be afraid to ask a question. There's no such thing in the world as a stupid question. Get your answers that you need before things start. Do your homework. Now that we have the internet, you can Google anything, and you can ask better questions and get better informed. It's just like Robin Williams. Depression. Nutrification gets rid of the majority of depression. We always used to stay in nursing school when I was studying mental health. It was anger turned inward. If we don't have anywhere to be happy around people and we're angry and frustrated all the time, we're going to feel run down and depressed all the time.
And snap at people.
Take it one step at a time. Get good water, get good food, get good rest, get good nutrients, and that eliminates about 99% of the reasons that you're not happy.
Well, if you look at how much...
I just want to say thanks to Mike for hosting for Dr. Glidden. That is some huge shoes, but my shoes are bigger, just size-wise, but his shoes are definitely bigger. But you did a great job, buddy. Hats off to you. And,
I appreciate that.
I think we should do it again sometime.
Absolutely.
And I enjoyed it very much.
Mark, I'll have you on again this week if you want. How's tomorrow looking?
How about Thursday? You're doing Thursday or Friday or no?
Thursday, yeah.
Let's try for Thursday.
Sure.
I'll be on the ambulance tomorrow looking to transport the allopathic nightmares.
Yeah.
Hospital, so hopefully get them resurrected and a little better and on the way. It's very hard for me to look at people suffer after knowing now what I know for the last 5 years. It's a very delicate problem. And it doesn't cause me to be depressed. I have to think of it as having hope and optimism because
we just gotta find the needle in the haystack, that person that can take in the right information and be saved. Mark, thank you very much for coming on the show. You're welcome to come back on Thursday. Mike, Philip, and Mark Denning filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. God bless you, everyone, and we will talk to you here, Amen. Same place, same time tomorrow.
Amen.